Biden references past cannabis reforms in his State of the Union address, and he's going to try to milk that super hard right now. He put out this tweet, no one should be jailed for using or possessing marijuana.
That was 2 days ago. Who you voting for?
You want to do this?
People want to know, bro.
I mean, I want Biden to drop some sneakers. If he drops some sneakers, we could maybe talk. But so far, Trump's the only one who's dropped sneakers. What's happening? It's Larry Loudpack bringing you the latest in cannabis news and culture. In here with my man, Malik, the manager.
Can't build something from the ground without dirt in your hand.
And this is Fuego News. Let's get it. All right, so just 30 minutes ago, we got a story. 5 firefighters were taken to the hospital after responding to a fire at an illegal grow operation in LA. This just happened at 8 a.m. today.
The second fire.
We just had one at a oil lab last week.
The firefighters went to the hospital though. So what's going on with that?
We don't even have that much info. This happened at 8 a.m. this morning. So they just pulled up. Apparently to a fire. I think it was because of electric wiring with the way they set up lights or something, or a bulb caught fire or something.
Okay.
The place went up crazy. They blocked off the whole surrounding streets, the surrounding area, so people can't get in there right now because they're doing an investigation still. Like they're still trying to investigate what really happened with the shit. But they know it was at an illegal grow where it's usually from electrical stuff, whereas at the labs, it's usually from butane blowing up from some sort of friction or something.
What part of Los Angeles?
Let's see, a downtown building on the 1400 block of East Newton Street.
That look like it's around Skid Row.
Yeah, the tents could be, you can't
I can't say a Skid Row. Yeah. No, bro, because California is full of them. And Portland, too.
That
look.
You know what I'm saying?
To be honest with you, it could be anywhere at this point.
It sounds like the dudes are okay. Apparently, but yeah, that place went up.
Make sure y'all know what y'all doing.
Electric work that's not up to code. It's not worth it.
Because now you just wasted more money than you put into the shit. So apparently Massachusetts, in a memo sent to Mass Hire, the director of the agency's Department of Career Services said that even though cannabis is legal on the state level, U.S. law still prevents the WOIA, which is the Workplace Opportunity Investment Act, funds from being used to directly or indirectly support the industry. However, these funds can be used for hemp industry, which is federally legal. Cannabis is still classified as a Schedule I narcotic. Also applied to the staffing and services under these programs, putting an emphasis on there are no exceptions. And then also in a Q&A published by Mass Hire.
There's no exceptions except hemp? There's no exceptions.
Yeah.
There's no exceptions except the
hemp.
Exception that we made.
In a Q&A published by Mass Hire, a question was asked whether or not these career centers can use state and local funds to work with the cannabis industry. The agency said yes, but only if it can clearly document that no federal resources are spent on that matter.
Wow.
One complicating factor is that some hemp businesses are also in the marijuana industry as well.
Yeah, all of them actually. So if you take a look at what's going on, bro, I mean, a lot of these companies are selling weed. And it's not because they're doing anything illegal.
Yeah.
They're doing what the law says they can do pertaining to hemp, which is a loophole that is THCA is just wrongly classified. And it's hilarious that they're like, no weed money, but hemp is cool.
Hemp is cool though.
Bruh. I mean, that's
fact,
absolutely insane.
There's career programs that people aren't going to be able to have resources and funds for when it comes to finding jobs within that marketplace. You know what I'm saying? And Massachusetts did legalize it, right? But they still on a federal shit.
What is that group? Is that
Mass Hire?
So they're pushing the fact that we shouldn't be using any federal funds.
Acting director of the agency's Department of Career, Diane Hurley, despite state legalization of cannabis in Massachusetts, U.S. law still prevents federal Workplace Opportunity and Investment Act funds from being used. So that
she just wants to follow the Fed laws.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you're a narc.
They said that the hemp money can be used for the same thing, though, right? Let me see.
If you look at it, they're supposed to fix this hemp law, first of all. The hemp law is wrong. So it's crazy that they're like, hemp is good, even though that everything is fucked up with hemp right now. And then the states that do what the feds want are going to be eligible for more federal funding. So she's like, we're not going to allocate any of these funds for anything legal. And she's just like, give us more money, please. We want more money.
They are making sure that they're crossing T's and dotting I's.
Biden references past cannabis reforms in his State of the Union address, and he's gonna try to milk that super hard right now because he knows that all the younger people want to hear about cannabis reform, but they don't really know how little it really did. Like it didn't let anybody out of jail.
Didn't change much.
Just like a year ago or so, he put out this tweet: "No one should be jailed for using or possessing marijuana."
That was 2 days ago.
Interesting. All right, well, we got a new tweet from Joe Biden.
At March 7th, 7:18 p.m.
Yeah, so in 2022 and 2023, he did a couple speeches talking about it. But this one is actually relevant because we're on our way to an election right now.
Yeah.
So he's trying to spin up the media and let everybody know, like, this is you starting to campaign, right? This is you starting to make promises that everybody wants to hear, and half of them aren't going to happen.
Who you voting for?
You want to do this?
The people want to know, bro.
I mean, I want Biden to drop some sneakers. If he drops some sneakers, we could maybe talk. But so far, Trump's the only one who's dropped sneakers. So he's really speaking to the hood, if you ask me.
Oh, my God. So Arizona is pushing a bill to reclaim social equity licenses from the private investors. So Senate Bill 1262, introduced by Republican Senator Sonny Borelli.
They're trying to take back the licenses from niggas who got like...
They're trying to return the social equity licenses back to the original owners.
Oh, because they got bought. Okay.
So this bill will also allow the state attorney general's office to investigate and punish those businesses that exploited these individuals. 24 of the 26 social equity licenses are now fully controlled by companies or people who don't belong in these specific groups to obtain these licenses. 24 of the 26 social equity licenses.
Yo, they got all of them.
Only one original applicant fully owns their license and opened a dispensary independent from the large companies. Another two owners have partial ownership of their license.
You the last real nigga standing.
Social equity applicant owners were supposed to maintain 51% ownership. Definitely felt like this is something that we should be talking about because we see this happening all the time. The greediness of some of these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, how are some of our community supposed to really receive the fruits of our sacrifices and some of our labors from early times when it's literally we're being bought out?
Yeah.
It's being taken away from us.
But it's also some people's dream.
Yeah.
To sell.
Yeah.
Like some people are like, I want to start a business and then sell it to a corporation.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like if you return it back to the original owners, are you saying they need to give back the money they received for their portion of the company?
No, because they're saying that these investors use predatory tactics to seize control.
So they're just trying to return their company. That's interesting.
What they're really saying is that the social equity applicants were like approached by some of these private investors and like created some type of contract to where, okay, like we have partial ownership, but you invest probably yada, yada, yada. And then they get the short end of the stick because they signed some papers that they probably don't even fully understand. You know what I'm saying? So that's what a lot of
that definitely does
what was
happen.
going on. Yeah. When you see large numbers in front of your face for the first time like that, like when you see some O's,
oh yeah, they can start getting you.
You gonna think differently. Yeah. You gonna think differently when you see them O's ain't gonna be here forever.
You're gonna be ready to sign something. That is messed up. I wonder what a lot of the deals were, like if that's the case for the majority of those, or why they
saying 24 of 26 social equity licenses are not in possession of the original owners.
But that generally you would at least have to sign it over. So did they get paid for them, like a decent, just get cashed out? It seems to me like they got bought out.
Yeah, like powered out.
We kind of seen some of this coming.
Yeah. Some of these people being nudged out. Yeah.
We're giving you this license because we know you wouldn't be able to get one if you were competing with these businesses. So we're just going to give you a license. Now go compete with those businesses.
The SB 1262 defines a predatory agreement as any agreement signed before or within 12 months after a social equity license was issued that required the original principal officer or board member to sell, transfer, or give control of the officers or members' ownership interest for less than minimum fair market value.
Okay. They lowballing niggas. Now we know.
Now we know. Apparently in the UK, The doctors have been told not to prescribe ADHD drugs because of a shortage that's going on. And due to that, the UK is seeing a increase of medical cannabis patients, an 86% increase in ADHD patients over the last year for medical cannabis. And in the UK, it has been reclassified under Schedule 2, meaning it does have medical value type shit.
So they already rescheduled it.
Yep.
Real quick.
Shout out to the UK.
And then they didn't make a whole big deal about it.
No.
Wait till the next election cycle to try to milk it.
No.
They didn't do all that.
No.
Huh. That's interesting.
They're not using it for power purposes.
That's very interesting because I don't think that weed is necessarily an ADHD medicine.
So in the article, they were explaining how there are ways that they have studied that weed can help, but they've studied ways on how weed doesn't help with certain ADHD people as well. Because it really comes down to the kind of weed that you're consuming, right? And the kind of anatomy that your body has. Like everybody's anatomy is going to be different.
They've done a lot of studies that don't make much sense. So, we got a study coming up later that's may or may not be cap.
But all studies matter at the end of the day.
Who is this fucking guy?
Who is that?
Dr. Arridge said his clinic had seen a surge in ADHD patients. Yeah, all right. Now that I've seen him, I don't believe this guy.
You don't believe that dude?
Nah, I'm not fucking buying it. This guy's just signing scripts. He's been getting paid.
I was just about to say, you think he just got paid?
He's been getting paid off these scripts. You fucking kidding me?
I don't think they
Yeah, this guy's clinic carried out the research. Okay, buddy.
You can just look at him and tell.
I'm not fucking.
He look like he be indoors.
Well, they live in the UK. That even if you go outside, you're basically indoors. So I mean, I don't know. I don't really like him. I don't like him.
You don't like him?
No, he carried out research on the effects of cannabis on ADHD, but acknowledged there hasn't been enough high-quality data to make the cannabis available on the NHS.
See, he's being honest.
We still need a higher quality of evidence for the NHS decision makers to be able to say that ADHD is appropriate for people on a population basis rather than a case-by-case basis.
How can you not like transparency?
I just don't like his face. Something about his face is pissing me off. This guy is capping.
Shit.
Whenever I have cannabis, instead of having layered thoughts, I'm able to have a one-track thought and focus on what I'm doing rather than have 1,000 projects on my mind.
Hey.
That's fair.
Can you understand?
I can, because I do like to lock in at the gym sometimes, and I be feeling like I'm locked in.
Like I'm in a different world.
The Virginia GOP governor vetoes marijuana parental rights bill that passed legislature with bipartisan support. So basically the deal with this bill is that they're trying to decide if having cannabis around your kids is neglect or abuse.
Oh, okay.
They're basically saying...
I think it's a form of abuse.
So the governor vetoed the bill on Friday that would have prevented the state from using marijuana alone as evidence of child abuse or neglect. Mm-hmm. So they can use it now as basically evidence of child abuse or neglect. A setback to advocates who spent years working on the reform.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you leaving your weed out...
If you're smoking around your kid or any of that, bro.
They're saying marijuana alone as evidence of child abuse, which is vague. So it's like that. I don't think that means you're smoking around your kid. Obviously, if you're smoking around your kid, that's not cool.
You're wilding.
You're wild. They proposed legislation aiming to address a non-existent problem, he said.
You shouldn't be having kids if you're smoking weed type shit almost too.
I think that's what they're saying.
Damn near what it looked like. Instead, cases typically encompass additional risk factors like impaired supervision, access to drugs or drug paraphernalia, or a parent's inability to meet the child's basic needs.
That's a touchy one.
I was raised by potheads. Shout out my parents, man. Shout out mom. Shout out grandma.
What do y'all think about this? Do you think the CPS should really be judging parents based on them having medical cannabis or smoking weed? Or like, should there be more strict reform on this, or should they loosen up on this? Because as of right now, I think they're saying if you are known to smoke cannabis, that CPS can get involved with.
If enacted, the legislation would have also provide that drug testing in child custody and visitation matters shall exclude testing for any substance permitted for lawful use by an adult.
If the CPS is involved, they're drug testing you and weed, so they can just take your kid away.
And all y'all people online smoking with y'all kids around, stop it.
This is a significant threat to child safety, potentially shielding parents engaging in substance possession or consumption from scrutiny. This failure to consider nuanced circumstances undermines the child's best interests and contradicts our efforts to address substance misuse in families and communities. So I guess we'll just leave it right there, but...
We'll talk about that in the comment section. Hit us up. Let us know what's going on. So apparently in 4 states, Ohio, Illinois, New Mexico, and Connecticut, are now looking to add female orgasmic disorder to the list of qualifying conditions for medical cannabis.
What does that mean?
So
Female orgasmic disorder?
there's an epidemic of women in America not nutting.
Mom, log off.
Yeah, like
Log off.
women that have FOD, the female orgasmic disorder.
Oh, wow.
Have more mental health issues, on more pharmaceutical medication, more anxiety, depression, and PTSD.
You don't think the anxiety and depression medication is making them unable to nut? Because that is a side effect. That is an actual side effect. This is crazy, bro.
This is nuts.
This is crazy.
Ohio is evaluating a proposed amendment. Illinois officials are scheduled for a meeting next month to discuss the inclusion, and New Mexico wants to address the matter in May, as per the nonprofit Female Orgasm Research Institute.
How do I get an internship at this place? Holla at me for an internship here, first of all.
I don't mind learning a little bit.
Man, I've been looking for there's something in the industry. Okay, but if we look at, bro, like all the things they laid out, they told you the correlation right there. Like there's no, just from hearing about SSRIs and those kinds of medications for depression and stuff, I think over 50% of people on SSRIs report that they have problems in that department with getting aroused or whatever sexual problems, right?
Damn.
So you're telling us right now that you're trying to prescribe women weed because they can't nut. Because of other medications that they're on. So you're not going to first just take away those medications.
Yeah, that's probably what they should do.
And then maybe switch over after a little bit. But don't, stop taking the SSRIs.
Yeah.
That's what's going to help. Like the weed will help a little bit. The SSRIs are fucking you up. Like you got to get your hormones right.
Some women can't face that depression head on like that though, champ.
If you've been taking SSRIs for 2 years and you haven't been feeling much emotionally, when you stop taking that, it's all gonna rush back very intensely.
Hit you.
So they feel like that's gonna be forever. That's only gonna be for a little bit. You got to get through that first part. Get yourself off the shit. You're withdrawing off a drug. You're withdrawing off a drug. It might as well be heroin. It might as well be whatever. But I'm just saying that is what's fucking you up more than anything. And it is hard for people to deal with emotions. But we have emotions. We're humans. Like, it's okay to be sad sometimes.
When you start actually implementing things that come from the earth instead of things that are synthetically made, you're going to feel completely different.
Night and day.
It's going to actually allow you to understand yourself in its entirety.
The real problem in America is just the quick fix thing. We all want the quickest fix to anything, right?
Pleasure. There's
no delay gratification. There's no, I'm going to make it through this
withdrawal
phase and then get back to base level and then start working out. How about just go to the gym? Just see how you feel when you take just half your dose and start going to the gym, and then half your dose again and start working out a little harder, and then just cut yourself off for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be rough for a week, couple weeks, but like people don't want to do that. They want, weed is going to make me feel better right now.
Doesn't give you the opportunity to fully embrace and understand the point that you're trying to get to and what it takes to maintain and sustain that.
Right.
If you get the BBL without working, you're going to pull your hamstrings or your ACL or fuck your knees up.
But if we just wanted to feel good right now, we would just do cocaine.
Hopefully the ladies of New Mexico, Chicago, Illinois, and Connecticut, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully y'all can get y'all's fixed so y'all can, you know what I'm saying?
Well, we do have a service actually available. If you guys want to DM us, we do offer some services that would help.
It's a whole completely different kind of package.
That's a separate business we got going, but you can definitely hit us on that. If you're having issues with this, like if you can't nut and you're a woman in New Mexico,
we have plenty of weed. Shout out to the homegirl Sunny J. I'm reaching it to 500 subscribers. She started going crazy. Shout out to Dro. Because he just dropped a new music video pretty recently. So Dro, yes, go ahead, peep that. Shout out Duda on the new IE project. There's an IE project that was dropped. Let me make sure. Let me do my justice. Someone Had To by Universe. UNI-verse. Shout out Duda because he, in my opinion, probably got the best verses on there. Happy National Women's Month.